People in the suburbs don't know what life is like for people in the hood. And people in the hood don't know what life is like for people in the suburbs. And it's a great difference. And it doesn't have to do with how hard one wants to work or how determined one is. It has to do with racism. And so that needs to be made right. And maybe after you all get your $1,000, $2,000 free checks from the government that, according to most of you, you don't need anyways, you can start to understand the necessity for reparations for the descendants of American chattel slavery, period. What's up, you guys? Welcome back. I hope everyone is doing well in quarantine or self-containment or whatever they're calling it, wherever you are. Right now, it looks like just about the entire world is being affected by the coronavirus. I'm in the New York City tri-state area, and it's affecting everyone here. I think that it's very clear that people just want to not overwhelm the healthcare system, to not overwhelm the medical system, and to have there be a problem with a tremendous amount of sick people in the hospital. They've already said for years that going into a hospital setting can potentially make a healthy person sick, because there's just so many diseases and germs and sickness that is in a hospital, obviously. I've been to the emergency room a few times myself, and there's usually somebody waiting out in the emergency room as well that's coughing, hacking up a storm, and or bleeding profusely. Anyway, so I just want to check in with everyone on this coronavirus situation. Well, hey, you guys, it's early in the morning, so it's what it is. Anyways, we're about to head into the grocery store. We drove to a town in New Jersey. It looks like some people have masks and gloves on. Old people are buying up toilet paper like it's important that they have it. Boomers. I have my mask, I have my gloves. We're going inside. It's a little less Miami chic today, but we're going inside the grocery store. All right, so we missed the boat on toilet paper this time. I'm not too worried because, like, we have toilet paper, like I said, but it'd be nice to be able to buy some more and not feel like, why haven't I seen toilet paper in like 2 weeks? So it's not even 8 a.m. yet. See? So at least now they have signs to let people know. And I know that Walmart is having senior hours, special hours for seniors. So if you're a senior, you can go to Walmart during this hour. Shame on people who are running over seniors to get supplies for them and their greedy middle-class family. So see, where they were hoarding the items. Look at that. And like, whenever we come to get meat, it's always a bunch of meat here, like very few people. Look at this. We have to get some low quality steaks. That's actually not a bad looking steak. No. Luckily people don't know how to make steak. A lot of steak left, that's all we eat. So win-win, they took all the chicken, but guess what? We don't eat chicken. All the lamb, everything, gone. Oh, this is dark. Look at that. All the sushi. When the sushi is affected, it's a problem. There's a lot of speculation and rumors going on about the disease itself. Is it flu-like? Is it less than flu-like? Is it more like SARS? It technically is SARS, what's going on there. I will say that it's clear that it has a higher infection rate and a higher mortality rate than the flu, which is one of the reasons why healthcare professionals are so cautious about that. Because I know that if someone's coughing and they have a cold, I got a problem with it. I have allergies, and I hate to stereotype people with allergies, but, somebody sneezing, you'd be like, you give them a couple of sneezes, but, the way I be sneezing, I'd be like, if people look at me, I'm like, rightfully so. but it's allergies. It looks like there is going to be a stimulus plan approved through Congress and or the president, and that some people are going to be getting some money. I think that definitely will help things, but I think that in general, the way that people are handling things and the way that things have been handled and kind of the inevitable hysteria around this pandemic is what is making this situation so difficult. There's still a lot of unanswered questions. I know I posted a vlog of my trip to Manhattan a couple of days ago, and people were speculating, like, was that a smart move for you to go into the city at that time? Yeah, because as far as we know, I wasn't around a large crowd of people. I did inevitably put my mask on when I went indoors. So I'm just trying to be reasonable and cautious. Maybe I should have worn the mask then as well. Let's be honest, people are accusing people of a lot of things. If they don't service businesses, then it's you're this, you're that. So I chose to honor an appointment that I had. And if I didn't, people would name call and accuse on that end. So, you can't make them happy. You can never make them happy. So this stimulus plan could be putting $1,000 check probably per month in some people's pockets, which is amazing because that's probably more than a lot of people make in a month. I will say, I think it's very interesting that Americans aren't running around talking about how much this is going to cost the taxpayer. They're definitely going to come for the taxes on that when this is all over. Everyone understands that this is the right thing to do. The right thing to do would be to help your citizens when there's economic hardships that they have no control over. Black Americans have no control over the racism that affects their day-to-day lives, and yet no one can understand why there's a need for reparations for the descendants of American chattel slavery, or why people are asking for it, or why it's important that politicians, certainly the NAACP and the Black Caucus, advocate for these issues. So nobody's advocating for that, and yet there's such a substantial need. I grew up in both worlds, the hood, the suburbs. And people in the suburbs don't know what life is like for people in the hood. And people in the hood don't know what life is like for people in the suburbs. And it's a great difference. And it doesn't have to do with how hard one wants to work or how determined one is. It has to do with racism. And so that needs to be made right. And maybe after you all get your $1,000, $2,000 free checks from the government that, according to most of you, you don't need anyways, you can start to understand the necessity for reparations for the descendants of American chattel slavery. A lot of industries are being affected by this, and again, it's the mass hysteria of the whole situation that is troublesome. My multitude of questions is like, how long is this gonna last? My husband's always sitting around being like, I'm not worried. Good for you. You live a life of not being worried. I live a life of worry. We are not the same. Okay, it's not a problem, but you're not worried? I am. He's not worried because he's like, let's be rational about this and that. Okay, that's fine. But my point is, as I've been saying throughout all of my Corona Chronicle videos, right, is that other people are freaking out. And you have to be concerned when other people are freaking out, because when people freak out, they don't behave well. That's one of the reasons why people say nothing good happens after 2 a.m. or late at night or early in the morning, right? Nothing good is happening, because there is nothing good happening at that time. Anyone that's out during that time is looking to cause some type of chaos. Chaos to their bloodstream, chaos to their digestive tract, or worse. It's worrisome. The whole situation is worrisome, and I'm worried. Because I don't think people understand that this isn't going to be over like next week or the week after. I don't think people understand that. You're not going to be getting back to work next week. You're not going to be getting back to work the week after next. You're not going to be getting back to work the week after that. You're probably not going to be getting back to work the week after that. Back to normality, right? People keep talking about the new normal. All right, any conspiracy theories, y'all leave them down below. I've heard a few. I've heard a few conspiracy theories about this. Are they trying to like test a new vaccine on everyone and that's why they're doing something like this? The fact that they're saying now that certain blood types, like the O blood type is more resistant than like the A blood type or B or, you know, AB, B positive, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what's going on there? What's going on with that? I want answers. Cardi B ain't the only one that want answers. Cardi B ain't the only one that want to throw on a dress and go out. Okay. What I feel like people aren't considering is you're going to be in a smaller and smaller and smaller space. Our space right now is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Every day we're being told this is closed and this is closed and this is closed. And no one said you can't leave the house yet here, but there are places in the world where people can't even leave their homes without permission, right? So it's just like, it's not like there's many places you can go. Look, I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert that masquerades as an extrovert. I'm an introvert, so I don't give a fuck about being quarantined, okay? It don't faze me. I got the transition lenses, you know what I'm saying? So Ken let me go back to the car and he's gonna check out with all the groceries and stuff. Like I showed you guys, there's a limit of 2 items per person for most of the supplies that people are freaking out about and trying to hoard. So that's good. I don't know how much that was respected and whatnot. I'm sure they made the cashiers aware of that policy, but you know, people like to be funny dudes. I'm sure if a couple wanted to, they would have went into 2 different aisles, you know, got 4 pieces per family and went to 2 different aisles and split it up, you know. So those are the kind of things that people do. Very selfish. When we were in the aisles, we're moving as fast as everybody else can, and there's some woman behind me, middle class Becky, middle class Susan, middle class Karen-esque person. Her cart was so full she could barely push it around the store. And when I turned around, she was like staring at me like all disapprovingly. And I was like, you can say, excuse me, you don't have to stare at me disapprovingly. And she was like, I'm not one of your kids. I know you mad because you at home with the kids you created, but that's not my problem. And then we bumped into her again. And as she's moving her big ass aisle around, she's like, excuse me. Yeah, doesn't it make sense that you with the big ass cart full of food that you can barely push would say excuse me to other people and other people wouldn't have to be saying excuse me to you? A quarantine encounter. So that's been our morning. Getting groceries here. A lot of people here with masks on and plastic gloves, but most people didn't have masks or gloves. And I wish them well. My thing is, like, we're not working from home and self-quarantining and social distancing so that we can go to a grocery store packed full of people who are freaking out and wanting to get this and wanting to get that, and have one of them who could possibly be contaminated or infected infect us. Like, we're not doing all of this to go to a grocery store and throw it all out the window. Even though, I'll be honest, I felt like my situation was compromised because these masks are incredibly uncomfortable. I can see wearing them for longer than an hour, and it started to hurt my ears, and I did shift my mask a little bit on my face. And, you know, I felt like a pocket of air. So, I mean, it wasn't continuous. There was no one around me at that point, but you just never know. And it was disappointing. I didn't want to compromise my situation by adjusting the mask and moving the mask and having air leak. And just to let you know, when you get these masks, they are uncomfortable, really difficult to wear, especially with glasses. Ken was saying, why don't, oh, God damn it. I pressed this button, sorry. Anyways, Ken also has his glasses on. You see, he's packing the stuff. I don't do the work around here. I'm joking, okay? Anyways, he was saying the mask was very uncomfortable for those reasons for him as well. So, something to consider if you get to the point where you need to be wearing your mask. I see a lot of older people here. I wouldn't call them necessarily elder, but I definitely call them boomers. And they're not wearing masks and gloves. not all boomers are elders. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of them are just Karens and Susans. No secret eating over here, baby. All right. Okay, let you guys get a glimpse of what we got going on here. So anyone that has ever shopped at Wegmans, aka Wedgies, aka the best supermarket in the land, or at least it used to be when I was growing up, knows that Wegmans has the best chocolate iced white cream donuts, but they sell them out in the open, singles. Well, because of this pandemic, they're now selling them in packs of 4 and they're covered, which for $4, I swear to God. I'm about to tell everyone out right now, but before I do, I just also want to let you guys know that when Habib was checking out, he was saying that it took so long for him to check out because each person in line, even though the lines weren't that long, because each person in line has to wait till the person in front of them has checked out completely, and then they can put their foods on the belt that you put the food on, but they wipe them down in between every customer. They're wiping it down between every customer. So that's just a glimpse of what is on the way for people in towns that are going to eventually feel this. New York and the tri-state area are some of the more first American places hit, and hopefully they will, it won't spread fast. But I'm just going to throw my 2 cents in there that it looks like de Blasio wants to shut New York City down, which would help to slow down the spread of infection, I believe. And it looks like Cuomo is, the one that's halting that because he doesn't want, it has to be approved by New York State and he doesn't want to do it. So I feel like this could last for up to 2-3 months if it's not handled correctly. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully everything will be done in 2-3 weeks, but you never know. Good talking with you guys. Just wanted to check in and talk quarantine stuff. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks. Bye.